All right, now I'm joined by tennis analyst Bruce Davidson just to chat a bit more about the tournament as a whole. Bruce, thank you very much for joining me this morning. It's always a pleasure chatting to you. But let's just start with regards to this tournament as a whole and how it started. Obviously, there was that saga with Novak Djokovic. Do you think he was missed, especially the fact that there was a sense that tournament organizers just wanted him to come through so that more people would be interested in the tournament?
Well, the game is bigger than the individual. And it proved down under that, as much as we missed Djokovic and there was so much controversy, the game was the ultimate winner here. And it was one of the most memorable Australian Opens for all sorts of reasons. But memorable because of, number one, Ashley Barty winning for the first time an Australian winning a women's crown in 28 years. That was amazing. And then, of course, that epic 5-hour, 24-minute final yesterday between Rafa Nadal and Medvedev, where history was made. So, the game was the ultimate winner here. I think that, yes, Djokovic will always be missed at any big tournament because he is a dominant world number one. But the tournament went on. We have an incredible champion. And, I just think that the game was the ultimate winner.
I mean, talking about Ashley Barty winning that title, today actually marks the 113 consecutive weeks of Barty being at the top of the rankings. Do you think anyone will be able to bring an end to Barty's incredible reign?
Sorry, can you get that question again? Sorry, I didn't get it.
I'm saying that, with her winning the title, Ashley Barty, today marks 113 weeks consecutively of Barty being at the top of the world rankings. Do you see anyone stopping her from being at the top?
Oh, she's a dominant world number one, and she plays an incredible game to keep up there. But there is a host of players coming through in the women's game, especially in the women's game, that can do any damage at any time. But she has proven that she can play on any surface. She's won at Wimbledon. She's won at the French Open. Yeah. Now she's won on the hard courts in Australia. So I think she's going to be there. She's got an incredible work ethic. She's got an amazing attitude. She is a dominant world number one. But it's always a challenge in the women's game because there's so much talent coming through, and she's going to have to work very hard to stay up there as the world number one. But the mere fact that she has won on 3 different surfaces a Grand Slam puts her in a very special category, which allows her to stay dominant.
Just your thoughts about how the South Africans did in this particular tournament. I mean, we saw the likes of Kevin Anderson and Lloyd Harris bowing out of the competition just at the beginning of the tournament, and wheelchair tennis as a whole.
Well, first of all, Lloyd Harris had an unlucky ride into Australia. He was in perfect condition, was in Zanzibar doing pre-season training when we were on the red list. He had to stay there for a while before he could fly to Australia. Everything was fine. And then when he left Zanzibar and went to his base in Dubai to transit to Australia, he got COVID. So that put him out of the first warm-up tournament, which wasn't a good thing because he needed to play some matches. But he did get down under, and I think he was unfortunate because I think his build-up that was so perfectly planned all of a sudden because of COVID sort of got ruined. As far as Kevin Anderson's concerned, he had a very, very tough draw. Penka is a tough player with a big serve. He's in the twilight of his career. It was great that he was playing, but unfortunately, we're not going to see too much, I don't think, of Kevin Anderson going forward. He's going to be there. He's going to try and play as much as he can, but he's definitely not as young and fit as he was in the earlier years. We're going to rely a lot on Lloyd Harris, and I'm just a little bit concerned because after Lloyd, there's not much coming through. As far as the wheelchair tennis is concerned, great tournament for KG and for Donald. Unfortunately, couldn't go as deep as they would have liked to, but the mere fact that Donald played his first Grand Slam was an amazing feat for him, and it's going to inspire him for many more. And of course, I always have believed in KG. I think there's a lot more in KG that we know, and I would like to see her playing a little bit more tournaments and getting past that into the top 4 of the world because I believe she's capable of doing that.
Just touching on your worries with regards to Lloyd Harris, if he were to stop competing, we don't have any other South Africans out there on the international circuit. Do you think we're not doing enough to get those players out there to compete internationally?
Well, we've definitely got an incredible crop of junior players that come through, lots of talent. We've always had the talent. The problem is that tennis is a very expensive game, and that transition between 16 years and turning pro is quite a tricky one. There's a lot of funding needed. We need a lot of super squads to take overseas. We are a country far away from all the other countries in the world. Tennis South Africa are doing their utmost to host tournaments, international tournaments in our country, to give the local players the opportunity of getting world ranking points. But our players need to travel. They need to experience different surfaces. They need to be guided when they travel. It's no use sending a junior overseas to play a host of tournaments without a coach. It all costs a lot of money, and that is a bit of a stumbling block for us. But we definitely have the talent. It's just now, how do we take the talent forward after they turn the age of 16? There is a blueprint in place. Jeff Coetzee, the former director of tennis, did put that together, and let's hope the new CEO and his board at Tennis South Africa will now implement this so that we do have a crop of Lloyd Harris's and Kevin Anderson's coming through. I am particularly worried about the women's game more than the men's game, because there is very, very little coming through there, and we need women tennis players because there's such a focus on women's sport in our country, and we haven't got anybody in the top 300 of the world.
Absolutely. But talking about Rafa Nadal, what a comeback, not only with regards to he came from 2 sets behind, but also making sure that he wins this tournament after being 5 months out on injury. Before we even talk about him, Medvedev, one man to look out for.
Medvedev is one of the toughest players on the circuit. He is a hard court specialist. He's an unpredictable player. He's cool, calm, and collective. And we've seen him before. I think that people don't realize the talent that there is in Medvedev. We're going to hear a lot more of him. He is not the world number 2 for nothing. Hard court is his speciality. We've seen incredible runs in hard court seasons where he's won the US Open. And he is absolutely a force. He is an incredible mastermind, and he knows how to play the game. As far as Rafael Nadal is concerned, Rafael Nadal definitely deserved to win. He was in all sorts of undecided mental state going into Australia, got COVID just before he went in. But when he won that warm-up tournament in Melbourne, it was a clear indicator that he had serious mission in Australia, and you've got to give it to Nadal. He was in all sorts of trouble. Lost the first 2 sets, was break points down in the 3rd set, and then made that remarkable comeback. That's what we know Rafael Nadal as, an unbelievable champion. And when you see how modestly he accepted that trophy, and how many compliments he got from Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and other people around the world that matter, it just shows you what a champion we have in the sport, and how lucky tennis is to have a Rafael Nadal playing the game. Absolutely.
He really showcased his resilience out there on the court. But, I mean, as Medvedev did say after that particular match, saying that I even asked him if he was tired after that match, but he also mentioned that, listen, I thought this would be my last tournament. I was not sure if I would come back, but after this win, it really gave me more energy. Do you think we're still going to see him for a couple more years in the game?
Well, the records don't match to Nadal. He loves the game, but he's motivated now. After winning in Australia, he's going to come back to Australia. He loves Australia. He hasn't had a great run there. He's only won 2 titles there. And if you look at how many titles he's won at the French Open, I think we're going to see a lot more of Nadal. It depends on his body. It's all about fitness, how his body holds up. But this one definitely has motivated him to play another year or 2. French Open is definitely his favorite surface. He might miss Wimbledon, in my opinion, because he'll save his energies for the hard court in the US Open. But I think he'll be back in Australia, and that's good news for tennis.
Bruce, thank you very much for your time. Bruce Davidson just chatting about the Australian Open that just wrapped up yesterday, where we saw Ashley Barty and Rafa Nadal being the champions of the tournament.